Welcome back to episode 7 of Let's Talk Movie. I'm your host, as always, Brandon Aries. We got a pretty decked out show to talk about today. I want to start with him. Guess what, pal? You're not that guy. You're not that guy. And you are? Absolutely. No. I've heard some mixed reviews on this. And here I'm going to give my thoughts. And if you haven't seen the review already, check it out. Card will be up. Hold on. Degrees, area, direction. Here. Card will be right up here. Now, I saw a lot of people say that they hated this, that this is the worst movie of the year, the worst Jordan Peele film. And I just got to say, I might be in the minority. I actually kind of dug it. And I'll explain why. I understand that people were concerned about this. People didn't feel like it was a Jordan Peele work. That's because it wasn't. It was produced by Jordan Peele. It was not directed. And I think people were placing an expectation just by seeing that name that they were going to get something along the caliber of, say, Get Out, Nope, Us, even his Twilight Zone stuff that he did. That's not the case. That's not the case here. Clearly, he saw a vision within the director's thought process in terms of this direction. So let me just find out. I don't remember the director's name. Justin Tipping. Justin Tipping is the director of him. And here's what I think. The whole purpose of Jordan Peele's name on it is to lure people into watching this movie. I get that. However, for this project, I feel like it hinders the overall message and understanding of this film. There's not a deep understanding. It's very surface level, but it's there. I think there were a lot of elements that didn't really land. Some will say, hey, it was ahead of its time. Some will say, hey, this is an instant classic. What I can really respect is Marlon Wayans actually took to Instagram and he was talking about the criticism. Like, hey, I love critics. Their job is to critique. And then I'm loosely paraphrasing, but he had mentioned how he has been in movies that were poorly perceived. But years later, now they're like instant classics. He brought up White Chicks and Scary Movie, for example. I mean, those are two absolute freaking bangers of a film. And he said, hey, I've been in bad movies. Years later, people take another watch or new people have a new set of eyes. And guess what? Now they're amazing classics. So it's okay if you don't understand this one. It's okay if you don't like it. All I'm saying is I did this. This is art to me. I enjoyed this project. I poured a lot of myself into this project. You can say whatever you want. I'm proud of the work I did. And I was like, bravo. I mean, like I said, I was paraphrasing, but that was the message that I got out of it. I really, really enjoyed Marlon Wayans' performance here. I think they said it's been like 25 years since Marlon Wayans in a serious role has been out. He did Requiem for a Dream. That was his last serious role. Honestly, I want to see more of this. I know he does his specials every 2 years, but I would love to see a more seriousness out of Marlon Wayans. Excuse me. Because he brought out such a psychosis in this film where 1 second you can feel that he knows exactly what he's doing, what he's talking about. He's cool, he's collected, he's the greatest. He gives you that vibe. But he can also flip the switch and snap and seem so totally unhinged that you have no idea what's coming next. And I thought that was spectacular. I thought that really did well alongside what's his face? Tyreek Withers, who played Cam, the other protagonist. So him and Isaiah, Marlon Wayans, bouncing off each other was so good. You can definitely feel that camaraderie that was at play here. I mean, it's about a football quarterback. And let me say this as well. You do not need to get into sports. You do not need to be a sports fan in order to really understand this movie. Because it's very simple. You can tell what an athlete does to be better. They train. Hell, you could say that about Rocky. When Rocky has to fight an opponent, what does he do? He trains. Tyreek, his character, aka Cam. Cam wants to be the greatest in the world. And he looked up to Isaiah, Marlon's character. Since he was a child, his father idolized him. His father deified him. And when he gets to Isaiah, he's like, my father worshiped you. He made me watch all of your games. And to me, that says something there. This movie was put together from beginning to end. It's about sacrifice. It's an exaggerated circumstance of a sacrifice. I guess you could say I'm in the minority when it comes to concepts like this. I'm really big into Black Mirror. I'm really big into American Horror Story. So, an out of proportion equation like this is fine by me. I like this stuff. I'm intrigued. Even if it's on the surface, I still love to be psychologically unnerved. Now, it's not a deep one where you're like traumatized, but think about it this way. We always have an exaggerated perception of celebrities and athletes, what they truly do to be at the top. You know, the whole thing where you sell your soul or you become part of the Illuminati or you have to drink cow's blood, whatever. This is another example of that. And I don't think it landed for everybody because they were like expecting this whole thing where it's like unhinged, you're just killing people. That's not the case here. There's a ritual, there's history here, which, yes, they did not go very deep into. And I think part of that might have been budget, part of that might have been the studio with certain things like just cut that out or leave that in, but this doesn't. Goes bye-bye. Is that the case here? Maybe. Will they make a sequel? Probably not. If anything, it would maybe be a prequel, but I don't think Jordan Peele's really like that. And the other thing is I didn't see a lot of Easter eggs of previous films. And that's fine because it's not even by Jordan Peele. It's just a production by him. Get it? Him? I still think I liked this movie. I liked it because here you saw the camaraderie, the exaggerated delusion of what someone, aka an athlete or a celebrity, would be willing to do to be known as the greatest of all time. And I think part of that also comes from background. If you've never thought about being the best at something, why would you relate to this character? Why would you feel anything for this character? But think about it this way. If you really want something, how far are you willing to go to get it? Look at it in this perspective. Cam's whole life was built around being as good, if not better, than Isaiah White, the man who his father idolized and told Cam, that's a real man. Then to become face to face with this idol, you're meeting your hero here, only for things to be totally unexpected as to what you're going to get. I enjoyed it because to me, I didn't know where the story was going. I had subtle foreshadowings that I had picked up on where I was like, oh, okay, got it. So this is where we're going. It's pretty easy to pick up on once you have that lens where you're like, okay, so the details will be in the background or the details will be subtle. There was one, the doctor played by Jim Jeffries. I think his name was Mark. Actually, I have the cast right here. Jim Jeffries, yeah. Oh, hi, Mark. Okay, IMDb just doesn't know his name. Cool. But it was Mark, Dr. Mark. So I remember there was one point he was talking to Cam. It was like after he was calling his mom on her birthday. He hangs up and they're talking for a little bit. And Mark walks away, Dr. Mark, I guess we'll call him. And he says, two will enter, one will remain. That's when I knew, okay, this is where we're going. This is the ending that they just put out. Now, how do we get there? I like that because they're already telling you, hey, this is how it's going down. You just don't know how, and you don't know when, but it's coming towards the end. Films like that can easily guide you along to how it's going to happen. You don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to. I feel are good. I like this movie. You can sue me if you want, but films are subjective. Not everyone's going to have the same opinion. Let's I did a video review not too long ago. I think it was maybe highest to lowest. I wasn't a huge fan of it, though I saw people genuinely enjoying it. So that genuine enjoyment for me doesn't translate because I wasn't a fan of it. But that doesn't mean you can't be a fan of it. You can still enjoy that movie. Props to you. There's some movies I like that people love. Some movies I like that people hate. I love The Crow. Some people hate The Crow. A lot of people hate The New Crow. I can't say that I hated it, but I didn't like it because I'm so attached to the original Crow, Brandon Lee. Hello. So there's that. Is there... The ending was iffy. I will admit. It didn't really feel like a definitive, it was more like okay, now what? You know? And my problem with the ending is Julia Fox. Julia Fox, for some reason, was seen so prominent in the ending. It made no sense to me. It made no sense that she was like this chair member. Like, hey, sign this contract and you'll be the greatest ever. You'll replace my husband. But she was barely in the movie throughout. She just said like, hey, oh my God, it's happy to see you. Gotta go. And then she gets back, hey, we're gonna party. You wanna come? She's pretty much just an inviter. So why does she have such importance when it comes to the board of goats? I didn't get that. And then she's like, oh, I have to do everything myself. And guess what? She stabs herself. Ooh, dummy. You just proved to me that she wasn't important to begin with. You just made her expendable when you tried to make her valuable. What are you doing? Right at the end like that? Ah! That checked me out. Other than that, I think the lens that this is all a crazy fever dream where all of this happens and you just wake up makes sense for this movie. Because think about when you wake up from that dream, right? As you're trying to remember it, it's already slipping away. And you have no control over that. The dream is just there. And then it's gone. And I think that's something that really helps perceive this film. Because when you have a fever dream, it's so crazy. It's so out there. There's so many elements that you're like, how the hell did I get here? And that was another thing, like location wise, you're like, what the hell is this place? Not much explanation there either. So, yes, it's a service level story, but it's a freaking fever dream. It's not supposed to be real. I think people grasp at reality, but that's not what movies are for. Movies sometimes, yes, extract and translate and adapt from reality. Sure. But the purpose of film and TV and now, say, TikTok and YouTube, social media, these are all mediums to escape reality or compare or contrast. They're all mediums of escapism from reality. So why are you going to try and think, hey, this doesn't feel real to me? Draw it for, pal. It's not supposed to be. Anyway, I enjoyed him. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. I thought it was okay. Would I watch it again? No. If I had to put it towards, let's say, a Jordan Peele catalog, which I've seen a lot of people doing, which kind of stinks because he didn't direct this. He produced it. To me, it doesn't really deserve a credit along his catalog. But if people are, then this is at the bottom. And that's okay. Look, Us was a good movie. I just didn't like the ending. It makes sense. It makes narrative sense, the ending. I still don't like it. And that's okay. Us was at the bottom. If we're putting this within the Jordan Peele universe of film, it's on the bottom. Nope to me is his best. Get Out was very good as well, but I feel like Nope was a lot more refined story-wise. Story-wise, it was near perfect. I loved nearly all of it. And I remember, this is one way I know a movie's good. If I slowly start to sink in the immersion of the film, whew, I'm locked in. We're in for a show tonight, son. Quote The Dark Knight Rises. But that's all I got to say about him. Let me know your thoughts if you're going to see it. If you already saw it, let me know what you thought. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? To quote Needle Drop, Anthony Fantano. So now let's shift direction. We're going to do like some rapid fire stuff. If you remember last week, I spoke about Patreon. That's right. Patreon.com/Brandon Aries. And as the day that we're recording this, Tuesday, we just dropped the Let's Watch TV. And the first episode, the pilot of Tulsa King, is on there. So remember, patreon.com/Brandon Aries, where we also have our very first Let's Watch Along of Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. So check that out. Patreon.com/Brandon Aries. It's a free membership right now. So join. It's free. What's better than free? I don't know. So there's more coming. Next week we have another watch along. After that is another episode of Tulsa King. So I'm curious. Who's joining? Patreon.com/Brandon Aries. Last time, okay? As I'm recording this, tomorrow, Wednesday, Marvel Zombies comes out on Disney Plus, and boy, oh boy, I'm excited. I think this is going to be all episodes at once. Don't quote me on that, but if it is, best believe your boy's binging it. Best believe I better see some good action. I had just heard from my buddy James, allegedly, this was supposed to be a movie, but big old but the studios, wanted to include Spider-Man, so they had to make it a series. And I'm like, Sony, can you just put a medium fry in the bag? Make it a large. Supersize it. Can you just send Spidey back home? I understand that Spider-Man is one of the most iconic, most successful, most lucrative characters in all of fiction. But if you're not doing anything with them, send them home. Because that is the truth when it comes to Spider-Man movies, or the Spider-Man property for film rights when it comes to Sony. If they don't produce any film within 2 years, they have to surrender the rights. So how does that work in the Disney partnership is my question. But I guess we'll never know. Next, as I'm recording it, this week, we got 2 movies coming out. Both I really, really, really want to review. Well, actually, one I really want to review out of consistency, and one I really want to review for y'all. That is One Battle After Another, starring Leo DiCaprio. Also a weird looking Sean Penn, which is like, what he doing here? What's that haircut, bro? And the other one, The Strangers Part 2. I'll leave a card up here for you, but reviewing The Strangers Part 1 was abysmal. It felt like I was watching a CW movie. And I feel like that's going to be the case for this one because the same cast is coming back, I think. I don't think anybody changed their roles. And I'm pretty sure the boyfriend died, if I remember the last one. My girlfriend and I just saw it recently, and she was like, I can see why you didn't want to watch this. But you added it to the list. And I was like, yeah, I added it to the list because I didn't want to suffer alone. But I'm ready to be disappointed by part 2. I'll say that. Lastly, I'll cap this off with a film question. What was a film that changed something about you? Whether it was something that made you see something differently, something that made you change your perception or change your idea of something, change how you approach certain things in life. What was a movie that changed something about you? I'm curious to know. For me, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to say Creed. Creed changed how I'm about to get a little vulnerable. Creed changed how I saw legacy, how I saw family, how I saw the role of a father, right? Rocky never got to be a true through and through parent. And you can see him trying to do that with Adonis. And I really respected that and admired that. And obviously, we all have our traumas, our shortcomings, whatever. When it comes to life, whether it's with family, friends, whatever, Creed really changed a perception for me about legacy and about family and about getting yourself out of someone's shadow, whether it's your father, your mother, your brother, your sister, whoever. Embracing who you are and understanding that you're not part of someone else's shadow really did a lot for me. And I will talk to this day about Creed. Those three movies, I love them. They are my generation for Rocky films, and all three of them have been spectacular. When Michael B. Jordan took over the directing for Creed 3, I had no worries. I said, Michael B. Jordan knows this franchise now. We're in good hands. And I believe they're working on Creed 4. And brother, when I say that I fantasy booked this probably hours after Creed 3 came out, because I remember I saw it in theaters, I was like, oh, okay. So now that Amara's in the ring, we're probably going to fast forward a little bit, and he's going to be showing her, no pun intended, but the ropes when it comes to boxing. She's going to want to fight, even though she's deaf. Still cool. You can still put your hands up and duke it out. You're not going to be able to hear the refs or anything, but you ain't got to hear the refs when you're throwing hands. But comment down below your film or your thoughts. I'm curious to know. I love hearing anything and everything that you guys send out to me, because it's so interesting to hear other perspectives or other ways that a film impacted you. I'm curious to know. So drop it down low. Hey, pause. Drop your comments and your thoughts down below. And that's going to wrap it up for Let's Talk Movie episode 7. If you've made it this far, comment V. Well, this is an A, but upside down, it looks like a V. So comment V if you made it this far. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for your support. I appreciate you guys showing me support, love, comments. I appreciate all of it. So in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Peace.